Why is it that the advice that completely changes one person's life often does nothing for you? You've probably felt it before. You hear a sentence that moves someone to tears, and yet for you, it barely scratches the surface. The truth is, not every piece of wisdom is meant for everyone, and that's not a weakness. That's the beauty of being human. Each of us carries different stories, scars, and dreams. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him to himself. What frees one person might not free you. What heals one soul may feel empty to yours, and that is perfectly okay." As you listen now, remember this. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Let these words be less about rules and more about reflection. They are not a map telling you where to walk. They are simply lanterns that might light a part of your path. Which lanterns you carry is entirely up to you. Advice is like medicine. It only works when it matches the person. That's why no single book, no single podcast, no single teacher can hold the entire truth. Seneca, another Stoic, believed wisdom wasn't about collecting phrases. It was about testing them against your own life. Some lessons fit you today. Others stay silent until years later, when suddenly they make perfect sense. So think of this like walking through a quiet garden. Some flowers open for you, others remain closed. Pick only what nourishes you. Wisdom is never about memorizing, it's about living. And here's something most people overlook. Clarity doesn't come from holding on tighter. It comes from letting go. Your mind, just like mine, collects clutter, unfinished tasks, old regrets, anxious thoughts about tomorrow. They swirl until it feels heavy. The Buddha once said that clinging to anger or stress is like holding a hot coal. You burn yourself long before you throw it. Reflection gives you the chance to drop that coal. You don't need to solve everything in this moment. You don't need to carry every burden at once. What if, just for now, you allowed yourself to breathe, to pause, to let some of that weight slide off your shoulders? Sometimes, that simple choice is enough to reset your perspective. But let's be honest. Struggle doesn't just disappear because we think about it differently. It stays. It challenges us. And in those moments, it's easy to believe that we are defined by what hurts us. But Marcus Aurelius wrote something powerful. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. What if the things blocking you aren't obstacles at all, but teachers? What if the hardest chapter of your life is the very soil where your strength takes root? Think back to the most difficult moment you've lived through. You're still here, still breathing, still learning, still becoming. That alone is proof of your resilience. You are not broken because of your struggles. You are built by them. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine your life as a mosaic. Every challenge, every mistake, every loss is a tile. Up close, the pieces may look messy, even meaningless. But step back, and the pattern starts to form. Struggles don't ruin the picture. They complete it. And now, let's shift from reflection to affirmation. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is remind yourself of truths you already carry deep inside. Repeat these phrases silently if they feel right, or simply let them pass through you like ripples on water. I don't need to have all the answers right now. I let go of what no longer serves me. I allow myself to find calm, even in uncertainty. I am capable of facing challenges with clarity. I am enough, exactly as I am today. I release the weight of other people's expectations. I trust that my journey is unfolding in its own time. I welcome growth, even when it feels uncomfortable. I give myself permission to rest, to think, to breathe. I know that small steps are still progress. I allow myself to be both strong and vulnerable. I am not defined by my past. I am shaped by it. I choose to meet tomorrow with courage. These are not magic spells. They won't erase your problems, but they can shift your inner dialogue from criticism to clarity. And that shift, tiny as it seems, changes everything. Because the voice you hear most often is your own. Make sure it speaks with kindness. Now here's another thought. When we listen to advice, we often search for rules. But life is not about rigid formulas. Growth happens when we notice, when we question, when we experiment. Think about how many times in history the majority was wrong. How new truths were born from those willing to see differently. The same is true for your own life. You are allowed to reject the lessons that don't fit. You are allowed to try, fail, and try again. That is not weakness. It is freedom. And freedom begins in the smallest choices, choosing not to replay that mistake one more time, choosing to forgive yourself when no one else does, choosing to pause instead of react. These aren't dramatic gestures, but they shape the person you become. So carry this with you. No advice, no philosophy, no voice, not even mine, is meant to fit everyone. You are the author of your own path. Take what serves you, leave the rest. Trust that your journey, with all its twists and detours, is exactly what it needs to be. And one last thing. Growth doesn't happen by copying someone else's steps. It happens when you notice your own. When you see your life with honesty, courage, and curiosity. Stay open to the smallest idea, the quietest whisper. It may one day open a door you didn't know existed within you. If even one thought from today resonated with you, carry it forward. And if you'd like, share that thought in the comments, because your reflection might be the lantern someone else needs to see their own path a little more clearly.